Hello, different video today. I'm going to make an attempt, and I'm really honestly making this up as I go along. I've looked at a picture online to see if it can be done, but I want to fit a chip in my old 80 HST. Now, this is the dummy end, so I've actually just got this for illustration purposes. Let's put that to the side, because what I'm actually looking at here is the old ringfield motor, and yeah, it's quite dated. I know that this loco works, so I'm not too worried about testing the DC capabilities, and this actually connects through these spade connectors. Now, one of the things these early HSTs had is lights in the front of the cab. Now today I'm not going to worry about that. That's going to add a lot of extra work, and I don't think these light LEDs actually work anymore anyway, so I'm going to completely sort of bin that part of it, really. So let's just pop this other bogie out as well. So this brown wire, these two are for the lighting, so we'll just put that to one side for now. So theoretically, if I just pop that in there, we have essentially a positive and a negative. I'm assuming this is the positive, but it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is actually sort of intercept the signal here and the signal here. So this is the bit I don't like too much, and that is making cuts to the cables. So I've got my DCC Concepts track cutters, actually, just to do a very neat slice. Then what I'm going to do next, because I just want to prepare these for later on, so I'm just going to strip that and strip this. I'm doing everything very upside down, I'm afraid, just because of the way the camera works, so I apologise for that. And so the next bit, now this isn't what I'd call the way, but it's my way. So I take some flux, give it a bit of a shake, get a paintbrush, clean paintbrush, and I just like to put a little bit of the flux liquid on there, and the soldering iron is at temperature, so close enough. Just clean the tip as well. To see if we can get just a little bit on there, and just tin the end of that cable like so. And in a moment I'll do exactly the same with this bit. So paintbrush, and just a little dab, This stuff goes kind of weirdly foamy. I don't understand it. You'll also realise I'm a messy worker as well. So I'm doing this in such a way that if I can easily reverse it. That's why I don't want to make modifications to the motor that I'm not quite happy with. So we shall put those to the side for one moment. Okay. Now with this, I think we need to just sort of, we'll just tuck that out of the way and put that to the side. Now, the next bit I'm looking at is this cable here, because I think there is a pickup which goes through the motor body, but looking at the way that's been wired, I think that these bits are insulated, so we can take that off. Like that. Put the motor to the side for a moment. Just stretch that out. Take the cable. Cut it. I've got plenty of extra wire so that if I need to extend a piece, I can. And I can do it properly. I've got the insulating sleeves and everything. Nope, I've got to strip the wire first. So we'll do that. Doesn't always grab it. My wire strippers are failing there. Let's try again. There we go. Very tiny stripped wire. Okay, let's get some of that lovely flux and put that on there. I did study electronics once. I didn't complete the course. So that wire's getting quite hot. I think I managed to tin that though. And the last bit. Again. Oh, I've already done that. This is the one. Yeah. Been a bit thick there. This is what you do when you record this stuff as you're going along. So let's take the wire off, which it should. These wire strippers are about 20 years old. Let's try it again. Yep. My dad was a bit old school. He would just every single time get it right with a pair of pliers. Mad. God rest him. Right, we finally have a bit of cable to work with. Not sure what was so different about this one, but anyway. So we'll get a bit of this on there. Tiniest bit of solder. Oh, very smoky today. Just a little dab will do you. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. So next, we've got to look at the chip now. So I've got these quite good little packs actually. One of the reasons I went for this is, first of all, it's actually fairly cheap, and secondly, these have a harness. See, I think that this would actually go to the lights, but depending on how well this works, I will maybe look at redoing the lights, put some kind of modern kit in there, because, well, the new HST models cost over £200 for a set, and I'm not too worried about the actual detail. I don't think that these actually look too bad. So, right. So I've got a diagram just off to the side here of what I actually need wire-wise. So, right. So, what I do need to do, cut the socket off like that, and tuck that away. So we have the wires here. So the ones I'm interested in are red, black. These are the two which go to the wheels. So you've got the positive and the return, and the grey and orange. Red, black, grey and orange. So I think that these are actually paired such and such. So red, black, grey, orange. Okay, like that. So one of the things I'm not too worried about with this HST is that there is quite a lot of room inside that body. It's cavernous. If you've ever converted anything like N-gauge or anything, it will feel like a mansion in there. So let's just kind of neaten that up a bit actually. So we've got the 4 cables. Okay, so red and black go to the wheels. Well, actually let's look at it a different way. So red and grey, or red and orange actually, go to, they intercept the wheel and the pickup for the motor. So let's just strip those 2 cables like that. And so I've got 2 ends of the wires. And I'll add a bit of flux onto these because I like to tin them. Always make sure you got to clean off the soldering iron tip. Otherwise the heat just doesn't pick up very well. But anyway, so let's just do 1. So what I think the flux does, I'm going back about 20 years, in my electronics training is it actually sort of boils and cleans the surface, I think. Let's do the orange one. There we are. So that's two sides prepared. Let's do the other two. So I will just get the wire strippers and just chop those like that. A bit more on the black. You've got to be so careful that you don't cut wires back too much, particularly when it gets to getting close to the chip, because I'm not giving myself much on that one, but it'll do. And do the same again. Let's just straighten that up there. It's kind of got a bit funny. There we are, like that. So we have the two wheels and the two motors. Right, so orange and grey will be attached to these tabs. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do a slightly neater job. I'm actually going to attach them to the original spade connectors, just because I'm a bit strange. So these are insulating tubes. You can just take the tube, you've got to cut it to length, and then just insert it over the wire. So that is what I'm going to do here. So I need to actually cut it to length. I think there's a DCC concept actually, but if you really can't be bothered to do a professional job, like me, I don't do professional jobs, you can just use something like insulating tape, or just leave it bare if you just know if it's going to be next to plastic. So I need to connect. Yeah, you can see me looking at the phone. It's not such a bad thing to check every now and then. This has got my wiring diagram on it. So red and orange, I think, are actually the positives. So I take the red. The red is going to the wheel, which is, I understand, the spade connector going down into there. So I need to attach it to this bit. So I'll just slide that bit of tube over the top of it. And let's get that out of the way. I need to attach it to this, and this is where you need two pairs of hands, or do what I do and just sort of fold the two halves round so that they hook each other. Thoroughly scientific I am. Kind of, I don't know how well this is coming up on the camera, so I apologise if it's a load of rubbish. Just sort of press them together just so that they hold enough. again, like I said, this is all fully reversible. And I'm just going to just making sure that that's all nice and tight and well pushed together. I'm just going to put that down on the desk, well, my piece of wood. More tiny bit of flux on there, just a drop, and on the desk, board, whatever. Soldering iron. Tiniest bit of solder, and it will just sizzle and connect. Just have a look at the connection. Yeah, that connection will do. I can just pull this back across. And these actually heat shrink. So again, soldering iron, just sort of tap it and it will shrink into place and just hold itself. Right. Doesn't have to be amazing, just keep it neat so that it doesn't kind of come apart. And there you've got a soldered join. And now I need to do the next part, which is solder this other piece on. I'm just going to follow the exact same procedure. Take a piece of tube, cut it to size, like so. Slide it over the top. Just so that it's ready. Move it out of the way for the moment. Sort of fold these in half. Form little hooks. This is again a me thing, so I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just sort of recording this just because I like recording this. If I completely mess this up, this isn't going up. But let's just put that down for the moment. Give that a bit of fluxiness. Now, I was going to convert the Class 37, which I did start filming, and then I realised that the whole motor needs to be insulated. But it seems that the HST doesn't necessarily need to be done. Even though they used a similar type, well, the same type of motor in fact. So I don't think that's quite as clean as the last one. It's not brilliant, but it'll work. I'm just going to put the tube back over the top. And heat shrink it. Right, so theoretically, when that comes to putting that back onto there, it should intercept that electrical signal. So now I've got to do the same for the black and the grey. So the grey is going to go onto here, yeah, here. Same thing again. I'm just going to hook those around so I can marry them up. And also a piece of shrink tube, like so. The wires in these old Hornby locos from the 80s are actually quite a thick gauge. You can be a bit rough with them, which isn't too bad. And again, I just need to hook this little grey wire. Yep, I have done that right. Onto there, like so. Put that down. Load of flux. Soldering iron. The great thing is that if I cause a fire, there is evidence of my existence. Like that. You have got to be very careful with a soldering iron. So I'm just going to put the shrink tube over that and get that in place. That's done. And the final one is the black one, which is going to the other motor bogie. I'm just going to take that spade connector out. One more piece of shrink tube needed. Let's just chop that down a little bit. And lose it. Over, I'll put it over this end, like so. And I didn't actually give myself a huge amount on that bit, so I'm just going to see if I can just do it straight. Just get that flux on there. Give the tip a quick clean. You only really need a tiny bit of solder on these, just enough for it to ooh, I didn't like that. Let's try again. I think because it's kind of in a bit of a puddle of flux. Let me just move that out of there. And let's just try that again. So, got a fresh piece of solder on there. Oh, there we are. That's much better. Quite a clean joint there, actually. Let's just put the shrink tubing over. Like I said before, the shrink tubing isn't really necessary, but it helps keep the job neat. kind of protect the joint from shorting on any sort of metal parts when you put it back inside the loco. So we have 4 spade connectors, a loco, and a motor bogie. So we need the loco body back as well. So how are we going to do this? Fairly simply, you just shove everything in. So we will take, let me just redo that actually. That's kind of sitting a bit loose. I'm not very happy with that. I'll just shrink that. Okay. Much better. Right, so this black one has to be fed through the loco because that is going to be connected to the bogie at the front. I think this is where it's going to get fiddly more than anything, not difficult, just fiddly. And this is where it helps if you either have thin hands or a child slave. Let's just try and pull that through. I'm not doing very well at this bit. Oh dear. There's a reason why I bought this thing down. Okay. The cradle. Talk amongst yourselves. Get the pliers out. I'll just try and grab that. Like so. Okay. On these bogies, the slanted end actually goes towards the middle of the loco. So let's see if we just connect that onto there and just push that into place. We'll put the chip onto the harness. Like so. Tuck that in there somewhere. So now we've got 3 wires left. So the grey wire is going on this spade here, which is the one nearest the front of the loco when I put it in. And finally the 2 final one, so the red one goes to, there's a very little nub which looks like is where it's taking the feed from the chassis of the motor. And then finally we just stick that final spade onto there. And I believe, well, let's not talk until the fat lady sings, shall we? So stuff all that in there, all that, like that. Yeah, that will be fine. Just want to make sure it goes in but doesn't foul any part of the motor. I've left the accessory parts on, the accessory wiring in, because there's a fair chance that I may add lighting to this at a later date, or fix the lighting and improve it if I can find the right parts to do that. Nope. Oh dear. Double-sided tape time. Lovely stuff. That way I can take that and just sort of create a sticky area. I could take the body off and do it properly. So just create a sticky pad there. Stick the chip to it. This isn't very good telly, is it? Stuff all those wires down in there. Now it's got something to stick to, and the bogey should be back in place. There. Let's get the rolling road out, shall we? Okay. This is kind of the moment of truth. Okay, this is kind of the moment of truth. This is genuinely the first run I've tried. So, if you've got the Dynamis like I do, I pretty much always use Locomotive 3 as my testing one. So we can go to Program, select Loco. Yeah, okay, well, we shall select that, like so. Okay, so what I need to do now is go to edit name, edit symbol, blah blah blah, edit speed, yeah, edit, delete, program. Write address on service track. I'm just going to try and write address 3. Now there was a movement, but Yes, so, and there it goes. The pickups aren't brilliant, but that is a DCC converted, slightly smelly Hornby HST. Oh, that smell, that's very early 90s Hornby for me. So let's bring her down. So she'll go forward. I'm assuming that's forward. Let's go backwards. And one of the beauties is that these motors and the chassis will actually fit pretty much anything from that era. So the wheels need cleaning, that's why it's stalling. So that is how you convert a 1980s Hornby HST to DCC. I'm impressed myself. So yes, thank you very much for watching. This has been a really long video. I appreciate you sitting through it if you have. I've done a successful DCC conversion. I'm not very good at these, unless it's a kit built loco. So, yeah, let me know if there's anything more you want me to do. If you want me to try and convert anything else. I may return to try and do the 37 at some point when I can fully figure out what I'd need to do with that motor, as it does need insulating internally somewhere. But I also have some tank engines and things which need to be converted, particularly a certain blue tank engine. So I will leave it there and hope you've enjoyed this sojourn into 80s DCC conversions. Bye for now.